All right, so let's take a look at this beautiful machine. Let's see it. Let's see the cockpit.
Okay, there might be a bit of a delay here, but that's fine. We're gonna have to do this like a news channel, where they have to wait like
You're in a
10
satellite
seconds.
feed.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty bare
that's
bones.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Got a mount for my mitts and everything.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful machine.
Yeah, for sure. It's a crop duster, or it was a crop duster at the beginning of its life.
What year is it?
62.
Very nice. So let's start at the beginning. What were you doing when we met?
I was working at an international airport, basically doing ground handling for a contracted company. So I wasn't actually an airline employee, but that's where I met somebody who had heard of you, and he kind of showed me your videos, and I learned about you that way. And I just sent you an email, and you responded, and here we are.
Yeah, and how were you thinking about your job prospects at that point? Or did you have a plan, or what was going on mentally for you at that point? Because you had already finished your training at that point.
Well, yeah, I already had my commercial license, and I kind of didn't know what I was doing. I think, I got through flight school just by working restaurant jobs, and then I got a landscaping job because I was sick of restaurant jobs, and that's when I finished my commercial. And then I realized I should probably, try and find a job, and then I realized nobody was responding to me, so I just got a job at an airport because I figured that was the next best thing.
That's good instincts. If you can't find a flying job, just get in the industry somehow. That's great.
Yeah.
And then we started working together. And what was the first step?
Ooh, well, there's a lot of steps. I mean, my resume was a nightmare, I think, at that point.
I wouldn't say it was a nightmare, but it was just, you were trying your best, trying to figure it out. And
Yeah,
that's kind of what we all do. We don't really know what the format is, so we just throw something together.
yeah, exactly. I didn't know what anybody was looking for. I didn't really know how to communicate with the business, I guess.
Yeah. And then we kind of started talking about which companies would realistically hire. Then I heard about a job on the north end of Vancouver Island, correct?
That's correct.
And then I gave you the way to apply that would get the chief pilot's attention, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, it totally worked. They offered me a ground position where I could work my way up into a flight position, and it didn't quite work out that way, unfortunately. But I got a ton of really cool experience, and they did some training with me, so I got a PCC in a 185.
Yeah,
Um,
it's one of those things where you just got a dead end that had nothing to do with you. You did everything right. You fulfilled your end, and just things happened.
yeah, exactly. There were a couple of things that contributed to that, but they helped me get a job at a small regional airline, which you may be familiar with, John.
I sure
This
am.
particular airline.
It was my first job in aviation working on the ground. So I
Yeah.
was pretty happy to hear about it. I think it's a good company.
Oh, it's a great company. Yeah, I was doing the same thing for them that you did. I was working on the ground all winter because they have a low time program now where I don't think they did when you worked there.
When I worked
So
there,
they hire off the ramp.
yeah, it's good. It's great because when I was there, they were very clear. You're not going to get a job here off the ramp, but if you work hard, we'll give you a reference. Go get another flying job, get 1,000 hours PIC, come back.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was kind of holding out to see if how that would work out, but one of the pilots there at this company worked this job that I'm working now a few years ago, and then one of the other guys on the ground, he also had worked this job.
The towing job that you're at now.
Yeah, exactly. So there are a couple of guys there who knew this guy and knew that he'd be needing a tow pilot this summer. So I just called him and emailed him, and yeah, here we are.
It's
It
so
worked out.
great. So what's so great about that is the importance of working in the industry, even if it's not a flying job, because if you pick the right company, it's still going to have pilots that are connected to their old companies,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
they're going to hear about things and they go, yeah, I know a guy. He works hard. And this is the importance of pilots seeing you work. So
Exactly.
this wouldn't have happened if you worked at Air Canada or WestJet or any of the majors because they would never see you. You'd be in the
Right.
belly. So that's why I like a regional airline, survey company, something small where you're going to have a lot of face time with the pilots. You're going to develop these relationships. So when they hear of stuff, they're going to be thinking about you. I just so happy. This is exactly how this business works.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happened right there. Like I wouldn't have got this opportunity if I wasn't just working with the pilots all the time on the ground and interacting with them.
And having done that job, you interact with every pilot who does a flight because you're loading the back. You'll talk about, how you want the back loaded. If you got a lot of bags, then we'll talk about, say, moving stuff forward. You develop these relationships, and it happens pretty quick. It didn't take me long to start talking to the pilots about resumes and job prospects and all that sort of stuff because we worked together for long periods of time. We got to know each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you had to make a choice because you heard about this, but you were also in line for this ground to pilot job. So
That's true.
and,
Yeah.
and we had a chat about it. So why the decision to leave that? Because that could have led to a flying job, no?
Yeah, yeah, I could have. Honestly, I just because I've been in that position before. Honestly, last year I was offered two things, as you know. I was offered a direct flying job, and then I was offered a ground to flight thing. And I took the ground to flight thing because it was closer.
Yep.
So I kind of told myself that I would, if I had to make that decision again, I should choose the job that's a direct flying job. I know that I probably like it might have worked out the other way, but it's possible I would have regretted that. This way,
Well,
I've already done a ton of hours here,
I
and
think it's the right choice because we had a chat, and then the big question was, where are you in line? Like, are you
yeah,
next up? Are you fifth up? And where were you at that point?
it's kind of complicated there. They have this list, and not everybody on the list is fully qualified yet.
Gotcha.
Um, so if you looked at everybody, I was probably like 30th or something on the list.
That made the decision pretty easy.
Yeah, yeah, there were about 15, I think, qualified people above me on the list, but things started to move pretty fast. There were people just before I started working here. There were people on kind of in the middle of the list who started to get called.
Well, that's actually pretty good. That's actually faster than I thought because normally it takes a lot of training to bring someone from the ground into a flying position there. So it's not going to be
Definitely, yeah.
20 pilots. It's going to be, maybe 5 to 10. So to me, that was an easy decision. Like you got a flying job and you're going to be working on the ground all summer. So it's that choice to me was easy.
Exactly, yeah. And there's also the fact that I think that if I had gone into that interview and sim eval process, I might not have been prepared enough because I'm so inexperienced. I know that there are some people, for example, there's one guy that I've been working with all winter who he was kind of, I thought he would be the most prepared person out of anybody in this list, and he got called and he unfortunately make the sim eval. Even though he was what I thought would be the perfect candidate, he was always studying. He was just a really great employee, and they told him to try again in 6 months. So it's a hard eval. Not that I think
Interesting.
that I couldn't do it, but there's a chance that I might not make it through that with the lack of experience that I have. However, after this job, I'm going to be a much better pilot. So can't say
You
that.
definitely will. I had an instructor at my when I was doing my private that went through that sim eval, and he didn't make it.
It's a hard
So
sim
and he
eval.
was it is hard. It's known as being hard. So I really think you did the right thing. I mean, to me, there's no question. You got a flying job now. Take it. It's PIC time, and like you told me before, that it's the kind of experience that's really going to it's not just flying around. I mean, you're towing gliders. It's explained like what the training was and what are the challenges between an experienced glider pilot and a student glider pilot for you.
Okay. Well, honestly, the on the job training was only 1 day here, which was so it was pretty much kind of throwing me into the fire the next day. But I did have to do a ton of tail wheel training before I came here, and that was on me. So I did well, not that much. I did 10 hours of tail wheel time.
That's good though. What did you do it on?
6 hours on a Citabria and 4 hours on a 170.
Fantastic. That's great. So
Yeah,
10 hours will get your head in the game and kind of keep you prepared where, you know, the thing wants to ground loop. So you got to be in control of it and manhandle it
exactly. Yeah.
as soon as the prop starts spinning.
It's true. It's very true. And luckily, the plane that I'm flying here is a little less squirrely than the Citabria was. So I
Excellent.
kind of was. It's a little more forgiving. So I do have a little bit of room to kind of get my skills going here.
That's great. And yeah, so when you're taking off, you got a lot of weight dragging behind you. I mean, it's not just
Yeah.
take off and landing.
No, it's it kind of feels when you have the glider connected, it's kind of like taking off in floats. You just feel like you have a lot of drag. Like the acceleration is pretty slow, but then you get airborne and things kind of happen a bit faster. Yeah, to answer your question about student glider pilots and experienced ones, you kind of really notice it when they're doing if there's a new student, or if it's like they're doing this thing called boxing the wake, where it's an exercise where they'll just kind of go to all four corners of the wake. So they're kind of
Okay.
pulling your tail up in various directions, and you have to stay straight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that, and it really keeps you on your toes.
That's fantastic. And suddenly you don't have the drag anymore
Yeah,
when they
yeah. Then you
release.
just start going up. I think that was my biggest learning curve, was like being prepared for that glider to disconnect, and then you just have to you have to go down right away, or you're gonna cross the path of the glider, kind of
Oh,
going up and then back
right.
down.
And how does pay work? Is it day rate, hourly rate, by the toe?
It's by the toe.
Okay, solid.
But
And
yeah,
do you get any tips?
so far no.
We're
I,
Canadian, we don't tip.
yeah, exactly. I didn't really expect that here. Yeah, and the pay is all right. Like, it's gonna at least pay for me to be commuting up here, and the cost of living up here and stuff. So other than that, I'm not really making much, but it's okay. It's free flying.
Building time. And what's a typical day? Like, because you're working on the weekends when it's busy, and say like today was a sunny day, and I where you're at has some pretty steady wind. So how many hours flight time and how many toes?
Right. So today I did 4.1 hours flight time,
Jeez.
which is kind of like a medium day, I think.
Yeah.
Because I did 11 cycles total. 9 of those were toes, and I've heard that when it gets busy, it gets up to upwards of 15 toes or more.
Busy day.
Yeah. So today was a moderate day, I'd say. But I got 4.1 hours. I think I've done 5 hours in a single day at this point. So it'll probably get over.
Fantastic.
And it's
Well,
full
that's
time as
that.
well. I'm 5 days a week.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah.
my mistake. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, 5 days a week of flying, even on a quiet day, even 2 hours or so. You're going to build time nicely, and they're asking you to stay till September, October.
Yeah, until October.
Okay, solid. So May to October. That is the typical bush schedule or float flying schedule through most of the country. Oh, that's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm thrilled for you, and I think you obviously did the right thing, because you're doing nothing but building PIC time. So by the by October, you're going to have a nice chunk of time. You're just going to be that much more attractive. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you. It's yeah.
Well,
It's I'm really enjoying it so far.
that's really, really good. Well, stay in touch. Let me know how things are going. Give me regular updates, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Congratulations again. It's so exciting to actually be able to go to work and just fly.
Oh, certainly, especially when you just kind of live here too, and it's just like my commute is I just go over there to the other side of these buildings and then get in the hangar and do the walk around.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. A nice commute. Well,
Yeah.
fly safe there, Captain, and we'll hopefully
Yeah.
talk to you real soon. Again, I'm thrilled for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It truly is. I love getting this call that I got the job. Oh, makes my day.